Welcome back, Aries, and welcome to those of you who've never been here before. My name is Jackie, and I post weekly messages for each of the astrological archetypes. I mix tarot with astrology, numerology, and psychology, depending on what we're talking about. I always recommend checking out your rising sign first. The rising sign is representative of that first house of self. So it's how you engage with the world, it's how the world engages you. So it really is the most practical application to your daily experience. That's why I always say, I get a lot of questions about that, that's why I'm mentioning it. It really is the most important to check out for, again, practical application. And then, of course, your sun sign, which is your ego consciousness. Your moon is your soul, it's your emotions. And if you have some extra time, check out your Venus placement as well, which indicates how you engage in your relationship with yourself and money. So if you're not sure of what your placements are, but you know what time you were born, definitely check out one of the free birth chart calculators online and just find that out. You have to know your time of birth pretty accurately, otherwise you can get completely different placements. But remember, regardless, these messages are general for the archetype of each sign, not a personal reading. I'd have to know your personal birth chart placements to be able to do that. So just keep that in mind. That's why we say take what resonates, throw out the rest, right? All right, let's just pull some quick cards and get some energies on what's going on. I mean, the star of the week right now is really two. I mean, it's just this last week of July. Wrapping up, we have that Jupiter retrograde popping back into Aquarius to hang out with Saturn until December. And then we have Mercury going into Leo. So there's going to be a lot of juice popping, right? Aries, for you guys in the fifth house, actually falling in love, love affairs, romance, children, creativity, anything like that. So let's just go like a quick lay of the land here. And then I'll pull some oracles, then I'll pull a Celtic cross spread, and then I'll pull for relationship. I'm going to timestamp below. If you don't want to hang out for the whole thing, you don't have to. I don't get offended ever. Okay? All right, so let's see what's going on. So we have the Two of Cups, we have the Ten of Swords, we have the Knight of Cups, and we have the Eight of Cups. So Aries, it feels like you're having a hard time leaving something, pulling away from something, changing your mind on something, right? Because the Two of Cups here is a very mutually supportive energy, right? For some of you, this could be a new relationship, a new job offer, some sort of new proposal. It could even be as simple as you're in a relationship, let's level this up. Let's get married, let's move in together. It could even be let's start a business together. It could be an important conversation having to do with work, anything like that. But it's two energies coming together. But clarifying that, we have the Ten of Swords, which does indicate there's some sort of ending where there was a history. So as a result of some sort of, something was going on where there was either a conversation, a connection, something like that, that has to be over now, right? So there's some sort of ending there so that it can be transformed into something else. But it does seem like there are unrealistic expectations being thrown out there right now. You might be dealing with somebody who's pretty moody. It could be definitely like a moody kind of energy as well. But we do have this energy of learning from the past with the Eight of Cups in reverse, fully learning from the past, right? This could even indicate someone returning home. So for some of you, that could indicate if you're separated from your spouse or your partner, and you're out of the house, you're returning home, them returning home. This could indicate you moving back home from someplace else, maybe even returning to a job that you did at one point, right? It's the same kind of energies sort of throughout. Then we have the King of Pentacles. So this is somebody who doesn't have a lot of follow through. So it seems like conversation's going to be going on here. Like, okay, hey, that happened, ABC, whatever it was, but it really needs to be over now. And let's just say, okay, what happened, learning from the past, let's move on. But somebody's having a hard time with follow through, and it could have a lot to do with somebody's, there could be a weakness indicated here, having a really hard time making some sort of decision, taking a risk, not wanting to deal with any kind of confrontation. And the thing here is you might be ignoring your instincts in the name of safety or ease, but this can end up stunting the growth of the situation. So you just want to be really careful and be very aware of maybe not overthinking or overanalyzing, that analysis paralysis that I always talk about. You want to be careful of that, as it's better to face whatever it is. It does seem like, whether you're experiencing that energy or you're dealing with somebody who is dealing with that energy. But then we have this promise made, okay, it's going to be different. Somebody doesn't have follow through. there's this, okay, I really don't want to have confrontation, but then we have this, somebody's giving up on something a little too easily, or somebody, again, still with the unrealistic expectations going on here, where there's this attachment to a fantasy or an unrealistic narrative, while overlooking the reality of the situation. And you could even find yourself like pushed or pulled into some sort of false narrative, something that is not as solid or as strong as you thought, doesn't really have a strong chance of long-term success, right? And you're recognizing maybe that you feel kind of unsupported in something right now. We have the Hierophant reverse, so some of you may be dealing straight up with maybe some sort of divorce situation. This could be one of you, both of you, you dealing with a family member, significant other, or workmate, somebody like that. But some energy is being misled by something within themselves with somebody else that's just morally compromising. This really does indicate being surrounded by it's like people giving the wrong advice, or just being surrounded by that kind of energy that's making a difference here for this person, whether it's you or somebody else. So we have the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands energy really is about getting very, very jammy, fired up, which I feel like, look, I mean, with the Mercury and Leo, first of all, can manifest. It's like you want to give a lot of focus to relationship, to that creative endeavor. You're like, I really want to have this baby, but because it's sitting across the wheel from Saturn and Jupiter retrograde, Jupiter going back into Aquarius, the Aquarius, not only the humanitarian energy and the energy of friends, but it's also ruled by Uranus, which is science. So I do want to throw out there that for some of you, a lot of you, I'm feeling like maybe trying very hard to get pregnant, and you're in this energy where it's like, I really want to maybe try IVF, or I want to try some sort of alternative method, right? But because it's squaring Uranus and Taurus in your second house of money, work, income, also maybe your priorities and like what's really mattering to you right now, you're like not sure if you have the money to go forward with it. Some of you might be in the space of being in this conversation, should we have kids, but there being this very very pointed conversation about money having to do with children, money having to do with opening that business, money having to do with whatever that dream is, whatever that wish is for you. There could be a lot of conversation surrounding that. But there is this energy of you really being very fired up, particularly with Mercury in Leo. It's a very fired up energy, and all fifth house matters you're going to be feeling, right? But this does indicate events speeding up, blocks being lifted, decisions coming in whatever area of your life, however this is applying to you. So there's going to be some sort of realization, some sort of information. Somebody's going to be just kind of expressing themselves and saying, this is what I kind of believe, right? Because the Knight of Wands energy is Scorpio and a Sagittarius energy in astrology. So Scorpio is all about change and transition, and its intensity. Wherever Scorpio energy falls, wherever it hangs out ever, whether it's in the cards or in a chart, there's a lot of obsession, almost, but intensity, because there's this need to end something so that something can be rebirthed, right? So there's this transition, and Sagittarius, which is about your truth, your belief system, where it is that you're going, right? And you can't not say it anymore. Like something can't not be looked at anymore. And when we have that working with the Eight of Wands in reverse, is frustration here. This does indicate problems ahead. This does indicate delays. This could be very frustrating as far as you wanting to move something forward. And it's almost like there's something in the way. It's like the blocks are lifted. You have this realization of what it is that you want. But the Eight of Wands is it's about delay, but it's about waiting for something to come in, because the Eight of Wands typically does indicate good news coming in. So like getting that phone call that you've been waiting for. Did you get that job? Did you get that project? Did you get whatever it is? Did you get that house? Finding out if the results of a test or something like that, right? And then we have this working with the Knight of Pentacles. And so this is somebody who's being very stubborn, sort of, Knight of Pentacles can be a very stubborn energy, it can be. But this is about recognizing, okay, but there's a point to it. You really just wanting to invest your time wisely. You just want to make sure that something is working. because this is a large focus on increasing your prosperity, on financial growth, on good investments. And so this could have to do with if this has to do with money, any kind of business venture, or with a partner, right? Because Pentacles also means mental, physical, and emotional connection. So this can be like an increase in connection sort of being the order of the day for you right now, right? So you want something to be stable and secure, and you're like very sort of like wanting things to be a certain way in order for that to happen. Now, some of you may be dealing with a person, or you may be showing up as this, but I feel like for a lot of you it would be another person. But you're dealing with somebody who really is by all rights loyal and dependable, right, if given the opportunity. But they might be, you could feel a sense of lack in the connection. So whether it's that, and I hate to say the word boring, but a lot of times that energy does come up, but it's like you feel like something's missing, not necessarily boring, but maybe you're questioning whether you guys have enough in common, whether your belief system is matching. Maybe you did at one point, you're not sure if it is anymore, but they're like a real ride or die, they're a really good person. They would do anything for you, but you're just not sure if that thing that's lacking is going to become a real problem as you're really trying to move forward and just work your life, right? Because this is all about you. This final energy is you stepping into your power. Now, what I like about this is Pisces and Aries energy. So Pisces and you, right? Pisces is all very dreamy energy. It just is. I mean, it's that 12th house energy. It is about endings and karma on the one hand, and limiting beliefs, right? And realizing where you might have been limiting your beliefs right now. But what's really cool about the Queen of Wands is that you realize this stuff. You're realizing the cycles in your life. You're realizing your limiting beliefs. You're realizing all of these things, and you're taking control. That's where that Aries energy comes in, your energy. This is where the stepping into the power. It's like, look, I've been allowing A, B, and C to happen. Now it's time for me to step into my power and speak my truth. And because of that, ideas are going to be popping. You're going to feel very strong. You're going to be able to make things happen. And you're going to be able to energize all of your relationships or whatever connections you're involved in right now. So I feel like that's sort of like the lay of the land. I do think that definitely aligns with the astrology that's happening with you right now. As I do feel with that Jupiter retrograde hanging back with Saturn in that 11th house in Aquarius, which is the home of Aquarius. And that 11th house is about groups, it's about friends, social awareness, humanitarian, all of that stuff that we always attribute to the 11th house. But it's, guys, it's what you wish for. It's your hopes, your wishes, the future. And so when we have Saturn hanging out in there with Jupiter retrograde, sitting across looking at the wheel of the sun, at Mars and Mercury, there's going to be this tension between what it is that you really want to bring to yourself and what it is that you're allowed to manifest right now, and where the crux of the tension is coming from that second house of money and your value system and what it is that you believe. So some of you may be in a space where you're like, look, if I do this, is it going to be going against my grain, you know? Do I have the money for this? Is this even possible? So it's not like so your dreams are there, right? I mean, your wishes are there. I feel like you're in this really kind of good space of recognizing what it is that you want, but it's like, all right, so I see my mind's eye what I want, but how am I going to get from A to B and then to C at that point? You know, but with that Mercury in Leo, I actually love Mercury in Leo. I think that's a very powerful. I mean, you take all of the attributes of Mercury. It's like make a little pot of stew of like Gemini, Virgo, and Leo. There's a lot popping there. There's a lot of conversation. There's a lot of problem solving, and there's a lot of passion. There's a strong desire for loyalty and a boatload of creativity. So I'm digging that for you guys for this week. So we have the 3 of Earth, we have the Fool, and we have the 2 of Earth. Okay. So needing to make this decision, right, with the 2 of Earth, there's this need to make the decision. You want to try something very different. The Fool is Uranus. Let's go, right? It's all about the future. So if this is to do with relationships, some of you might be just really focused on starting a new relationship, starting a new cycle in relationship. But whatever it is, with the 3 of Coins, lovely energy, and this is all about collaborating. very successful energy. I always call it the architect card, because it's like coming in and sort of drawing plans. Okay, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that, and then we're going to do that. And then as a result of that collaborative effort, something rewarding is going to come out of it, right? But you're going to be putting that like that smart thinking cap on, because you're going to be allowing your talents to shine. You're going to be problem solving. This is a really successful launch of something. This could even be a lot of you doing work on your home, selling your home, buying a home, whatever it is. It's like you're coming together with somebody, and it's going to be it'll result in a very positive experience. But the key here is the Fool. The key here is a new approach. Some sort of new approach needs to be had. So this doesn't mean a new relationship. Within a relationship, within a job, within a family connection, the success is going to lie in recognizing you need to negotiate, you need to make a decision about something regarding more than one path. Okay, so you have two things. Now, whatever the newer of the approaches are that you're thinking about, that's where the answer is, okay? Because it's sitting right in the middle. Some sort of new strategy, new approach. Let go and enjoy is clarifying the Three of Earth. Yeah, always good advice. Love yourself. Imagine solutions. Yeah. Telling you, with that Mercury and Leo energy in your fifth, I think it's going to be productive, even though it might be stressful, because it is going to be squaring your 8th house, which is Scorpio is sitting in your 8th house in its home, and which is the energy of merging and coming together. So for those of you who are in a situation where you're dealing with any sort of merging issue, that sounds really weird, but like coming together in business, coming together in marriage or in relationship, that 8th house is also sex and intimacy, shared finances, within a relationship, within a business situation, any kind of merging like that. Okay, on the one hand, it also has to do with inheritance, taxes, loans, assets, property, any kind of joint venture, anything like that. So don't be surprised if, like, while you're problem solving, what are you going to be problem solving? How do we deal with this merging, this coming together, these issues with intimacy, these shared finances, are looking at our shared values? How are we going to do that, right? And it's really kind of, I just feel like it's very much a you and other kind of energy this particular week. Pay attention to the signs. We have sadness and we have inner child. Love yourself, inner child, beautiful. And that's clarifying the Two of Pentacles, very nice. Yeah, I mean, this is maybe, you're doing some closet cleaning inside of yourself, about, new approaches to things. For sure, pay attention to the signs. It's a good idea. Okay. Yeah, we have Clean It Up. Treasure Island, very nice. Okay, beautiful. And we have Flexible. Yeah. So whatever it is that's going on here, it does indicate you need to be flexible. And when we have Treasure Island with Clean It Up, Treasure Island, right? The treasure is at the bottom of the water. Water is our emotions, right? It's the bottom of our soul. It's bringing stuff up. It's the stuff that hangs out really deep within us. And this is very interesting, because I feel like for you, Aries, this week, it's about getting super, super honest with what it is that you really want, where you might get in your own way. Pay attention to the signs and clean it up. You can't clean up somebody else's stuff, right? You know what I always say. You can only clean up your own backyard. You can't clean up somebody else's stuff. But this really is about recognizing, like, all right, look, A, B, and C is going on. Certainly if I want change, I'm going to have to do things differently on my end. Doesn't mean anything has to even be your fault. It just means that if you want something to work, the way you're strategizing, and if you want a different life or a situation to work out differently, you're going to have to approach it in a different way. This could just be a minor decision, or this could be something far more global, right? It obviously depends on your situation, but it's kind of like, I'm being called to say, like, if you want something to be different, having to do with your money, having to do with that relationship, having to do whatever it is, you have to get really honest with yourself about why is that thing, that situation not in your life in that way right now? What is getting in the way of that? Okay, and how much control do you have over it? Right? Because if it's a decision that somebody else made, you can't do anything about it, and then it's like, okay, let's just move on from this then. But if it's something that you can control, the energies are suggesting you really look at that and see where you can best serve yourself, right, at the end of the day, to better serve the situation, to have the outcome that you want. Okay. So, that's that. That's that. Moving on. Celtic cross spread, general energies. King of Cups. Eight of Pentacles. Okay. So there might be some sort of conflict, with money. Having to do with that work situation, having to do with that relationship, that family situation. It doesn't have to do with Pentacles, can be money or mental, physical, emotional connection. King of Cups indicates that there's a need to settle some sort of conflict, either within yourself or with somebody else. Like, that's what's going on right now. And that's being challenged by the Eight of Pentacles, which is about focusing on responsibilities and being super diligent, right? So you might be dealing with somebody where the conflict within the dynamic is, listen, you're not bringing enough to the table. You're not helping in the responsibilities of this situation. You're not working hard enough. And you might be challenged by this, right? Where the conflict is, it could be having to do with money. It could be having to do with belief system, value system, whatever it is. But it's this conflict within yourself about these ideas, having to do with money, having to do with responsibility, having to do with being hardworking. Now, the conflict could be either within yourself about yourself or within yourself about somebody else that you're dealing with. Like you might be like, look, I'm on point with stuff, right? I'm getting up and going to work. I'm doing my jam. I'm like living a good life. I have a healthy routine. I have my values in place. I know what my priorities are. But you might be dealing with somebody who's maybe, let's just be kind, maybe a little confused right now in their life, having to do with all of those things, and that's serving up as to be a challenge for you. But I feel like leading into this was generating a lot of anxiety in you, right? Overwhelm, worry, depression, maybe just not really responding very well in the moment. However that could manifest, just not really responding very well. I feel like the basis of the situation, working with Three of Cups, which is the present situation, is there's a lot of confusion here. So some of you, as the Seven of Cups is Venus and Scorpio energy, right? So there's this knowledge that something is changing, right? You could feel the beginning stages of something changing for sure, having to do with money, having to do with relationship, having to even to do with how you feel about yourself, Aries. And there could be several of those things going on at once, particularly because you have Chiron retrograde in your first house of self. So this is choices, this is confusion, this is things being up in the air. And then hanging out with the Three of Cups, though, this is all about being very supportive. So there could be a lot of confusion having to do with support. Confusion also having to do with, is somebody partying too much? Is somebody flirting irresponsibly, right? This could also show how we're manifesting. This could also be confusion about what it is that you really want from this situation, because the Three of Cups is very much an energy of abundance, right? And it's abundance through support, but it does seem like you're confused. Like you're in the space where it's like, all right, am I going to be able to get the support and the abundance that I'm really looking for in my life if I stay in this particular situation, in this job? Am I being supported in a healthy way by my family, by my spouse, by my partner, right? Looking at all of these things. But it does seem like there's this, first of all, recognition that you're at the beginning stages of something new, which is really very being felt more viscerally than out in the 3D. Some of you may be experiencing it out in the 3D, right? Depends on your situation and what else is transiting your chart, right? But we have the Four of Wands here. So the Four of Wands is showing up as the recommended approach here. So this is really about focusing on expressing yourself, focusing on a strong foundation. It's such a beautiful energy, the Four of Wands, the Venus and Aries energy, right? Venus and you. So it's, for some of you, it's literally saying, you know what, it's time for me to get a new partner. That's it. I need, and this new partner that I've met, it's would be reciprocated, right? It does indicate that they would reciprocate whatever it is that you're feeling. So it would end up being an auspicious experience if you're in a very dysfunctional, negative relationship. If you're in a very if you're in a bad job, or if you're in a job that's very unfulfilling, this could indicate you focusing on that. Maybe entertaining another idea, something like that. But it is a celebratory vibe, and it is an energy of appreciation, and it's about not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, trying to find the good in a situation so that a strong foundation can be had, right? Because it's a Venus in you, because it's a Venus energy really does want to look for the good in a situation, because it's always looking for balance. It's always looking for the balance in a situation. The external energy is the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles, this is the external energy, or the energy surrounding you. So this could be literally a person, or this could just be the energy surrounding you. And if it's the energy surrounding you, this is about increasing prosperity. This is about financial growth, good investments, having to do with any business venture, or any business partner or anything like that. But this doesn't indicate an increase in value. And with Uranus and Taurus, Aries, I kind of like this for you. I feel like depending on what else is aspecting your chart, this could certainly indicate an increase in money or an increase in connection. Right? So if you're in some sort of relationship, an increase, you guys are leveling it up, but you're going to have to work harder than you are right now in order for it to be stable and secure. It does seem like that. Some of you might be dealing with this as a person, though, which would be somebody like very loyal and dependable. They have a lot to offer, but there's energy. It's like something's missing. They might be your rock. But it's like, I'm not sure. Is this the right thing in the long term? But guys, this doesn't have to manifest as a relationship. This could be like, okay, that job is solid. They like me there. I've been there X years. It's good. It's fine. It's this kind of energy, but you're like, so underwhelming, so unfulfilled in whatever it is that you're doing at this point, and you're going to be feeling this like, I want to break out, right? With this T-square between your 5th, 11th, and the 2nd, it's like, I want to break out. I want to do something of more value to me, and I want to make money at it. A lot of you are going to be feeling that. Now, showing up as your challenge here is the World, right? Obviously, this is what you want. This is what you're afraid isn't going to happen, right? And with showing up as a challenge, it's like, again, everything I'm saying, you feel very ready to move on, but you feel blocked. Something maybe really in the 3D, or for some of you might feel undeserving of success in that career, in that relationship, in that family connection, whatever it is. This could also show you holding on to that one ambition. I feel like I was saying this to you guys maybe in the last reading, the reading before. It's like holding on to something that's eluding you. So it's really time to step up and redefine what it is that you want, and make adjustments accordingly. Having to do with that business venture, that creative idea, where it is that you want to go, what is it that you want to do with that relationship, right? But just understand that the silliest little challenges can feel bigger than they really are. So keep faith. Just know that whatever's meant to come to you is. It just might take a minute, even though that feels like a block. We have in the near future the Queen of Wands stepping into your power. Really nice energy. Ideas popping. Very nice for relationships as well. If this is a person you're meeting, this is you meeting somebody who's really like an ideas person, very communicative, very sociable, very self-aware, very focused on the right things. So, really good energy for a relationship, for sure. Again, it's for you guys, especially it's a Pisces and Aries energy. You guys really relate well with like the Queen of Wands energy in relationship. And then we have the Moon as the final outcome energy here. So if this has to do with relationship, this is like maybe confusion, disappointment, where you feel like somebody's let you down and you really not feeling very strongly that the relationship can actually go the long haul, and it leads you to making a decision about that relationship, whatever kind of relationship it is. If it has to do with career or money, you might get to that point, right? That goal that you've been working for, and you're like, really, is this it? Very underwhelming. I'm feeling like a lot of you are feeling like that, right? Having to do with work. Like you're achieving something, but you're like, was it worth the effort? Was it worth all the time that I put in? Some of you might even be in a space where you need to protect yourself from others' negativity right now. Even if money matters is stable, you want more satisfaction than just simply a paycheck. And others of you might just be feeling very disillusioned about where you're living right now, and you're having second thoughts about a move or about investing the money in some sort of home improvement project. It's turning out to cost way more than you originally thought. And you're like, I don't know if it's worth it. This is different ways that the general message is here. So it does seem like there are going to be some big questions answered in this goals, wishes, questions posed anyway, really. Should be, where is it all really going? And how supported do you feel in the process? Pull a quick ellipse for relationship. Trying to figure out a different strategy in relationship right now. All right. Some sort of offer was made in the past. This was maybe the relationship initially starting. This could be somebody coming in and proposing something. But regardless, it was an emotional time within the relationship. Some of you, again, this could indicate meeting somebody new, somebody proposing something that was very idealized. Like, this is very much an energy you want to make sure if somebody not over-promising, you might have over-promised, somebody else might have over-promised something. And it's like, okay, everybody needs to take a deep breath, step back, take a time out for perspective. This is a really good energy just to think about stuff. Shadow work, do some therapy, just to figure out a better strategy for moving forward regarding whatever the situation is in the relationship. And now we have the Ace of Swords in the near future. This is great. This is getting over past obstacles, getting what you want, thoughts becoming things. Very nice energy. New beginning kind of energy. I like it. And then we have, as the center card here, we have the Ten of Swords. So this is interesting because I feel this is the advice energy, the advice card. It's like, all right, just close the chapter on whatever was going on. So for some of you, if somebody came in and they promised you the world and they ended up not delivering, they weren't walking their talk, and you're in this space right now like, I don't know what to do, I'm really not sure. If you think that this person has value in your life, you're going to know. You know intuitively. Somebody like a narcissist, and I don't even want to get into like all of that. Just let's just say the narcissistic tendencies. I'm not looking to diagnose anyone here, and all the many, many reasons why we could find ourselves in those situations. But for some of you, this is getting over past obstacles if there were good bones in the relationship. Others of you are like, okay, bye, I have to it's a new beginning, right? It's because one thing with the Ace of Swords, the lights are on. You are thinking very clearly right now. You're very mentally agile. You're able to be assertive without aggressive. Make sure you temper that because you do have Leo in the 5th, which has to do, it's one of the relationship houses. And there's going to be a lot of conversation, though, because you have Libra hanging in your 7th, which is Libra's home. You can be very concerned about what's fair here, what's fair, what's not fair. We have to have this conversation because what's not fair, that needs to change, that needs to go by, right? So whatever it is, if it's the relationship because it was unhealthy, it has to end. But this doesn't have to mean that. It's still a minor arcana. The Ten of Swords just means whatever was going on before, all right, that's it. Now we have to get serious about fixing this relationship kind of thing, right? Whatever it was, end of a challenging era, releasing something. Even if the release of it is difficult, you're going to be so much better off for it. So much better off. Then we have clarifying that. We have moving forward the Six of Cups energy. So this is like an external energy. So, Aries, I don't know. Like, is somebody coming back from the past? For some of you. Others of you are going to be in the space of nostalgia in a relationship that you're in, and you're like, I want to go back, I want to reconcile, I want to fix things, I want to find the right balance in this relationship. Maybe you feel like you were mistreated. Okay, let's go and remedy this. But there needs to be something balanced here, for sure. There's got to be something remedied, right? And the challenge could be the challenge is the Four of Wands, tells me that there could be this energy of just not being sure how to find that strong foundation. You know, this is the honeymoon card. This is a deep commitment. This is leveling it up. This is having a strong foundation. So you might feel like you're in this space. It's very internal energy where you just feel like, I don't know how to feel safe in this and secure. So some of you might feel very safe in your relationship, but you might not feel very secure in what it is that you bring to the table, or what that person brings to the table, or where you guys are together as a couple, as far as your communication skills, as far as the money that you're both making. Right? So as the challenge, it's like you being concerned about that strong foundation, but the final outcome energy is a beautiful Ten of Cups, family contentment, benefits of security, just whatever you've been working on in the relationship finally coming together. So if your communication wasn't great, that getting better. If the romance needed some pepper added to it, that getting better. If there were issues within family, that being worked out. So whatever it is, it's ultimately going to be worked out here. It does seem like that. Okay, so let me just pull a few cards for those of you in separation. Thoughts of you with someone else drives me crazy. Understandable. I'm feeling lost and I don't know what to do about it. I still have dreams about you and our happy times together. Okay. Okay. The thought of you with somebody else drives me crazy. And that's being clarified by the runner. Runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, listening to ego. Somebody's focusing on the wrong stuff. But I'm feeling lost and I don't know what to do about it. So let's give a call, love call. Someone expresses love, a message of love, thinking of you and letting you know. I still have dreams about you and our happy times together. And then we have talking. Interested, conversing more. Awaited message arrives, text, call, email. All right, lose my voice. All right, my friends, that's what I have for you. This looks good in a relationship. It looks good overall. Honestly, I feel like there's a very nice infusion of motivation happening here. Just in general for you guys as we close out July, which is a really nice energy to go into August with, because we have nice astrology coming up in August. So, all right, my friends, thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.